What is up, YouTube? It's Destroyer317 bringing you another Pokemon Black and White, Pokemon Black 2 White 2 Wi-Fi battle this time. It is a UU match against a guy by the name of Pokegmaer off of the Smogon WIFI Battle Finder. Now, teams are pretty standard as you can see, and here we go. He's using black and white. I lead off with my Milotic because it's the only bulky thing I have, and I see Flygon and other things in the team preview, so I was like, oh, well, I've got Ice Beam, I'll just hit it with Ice Beam. This thing is either scarfed or banded, but looking at the damage, it's gotta be scarfed because that's not banded damage. Now he brings in his Swampert, which was a pretty smart play. I mean, it resists my stab and Ice Beam and anything else I may want to go for. So it was like, whatever, you know, I'll live with that. I do have Shaman, so that's a big counter to this thing. But I'm gonna switch out, yeah, and I'm bringing Shaman just to be in here and just be like, hey, I've got your number right here, so you can't really bring this thing in as freely as you want. Now it's the Life Orb Synthesis set with Hidden Power Fire and Seed Flare, because that's the set I'm running. He brings in his Heracross to take a Seed Flare, and yeah, it is resisted, but it's not going to take it very well. Well, what am I talking about? It takes it very, very well and gets the Guts boost right here with the Flame Orb. Now, fearing a Mega Horn, which is actually coming my way right now, I switch into Milotic because I was like, oh, well, I can take a Guts boosted stab Mega Horn, right? No, I can't. Not after all the previous damage that I have. Well, actually, wait, never mind. I lied. I took it. I lived. I thought it was a crit, but never mind. I lived it, but I don't take two. There you go. I died. So now the score is in his favor, 6-5. But I'm not too concerned. I have Chandelure, who outspeeds this thing regardless if it's scarfed or not. But I'm scarfed because Scarf Chandelure, it's hot. I mean, quite literally. But I go for the Shadow Ball because it's safe stab. I don't want to go for Fire Blast and miss. And because I know he has Flygon lurking around and other things like that, I was playing cautious. I went for Shadow Ball because it was safer, but I outspeed Flygon. I'm not sure if the speeds are too much different between Flygon and Chandelure. I want to say that Flygon is slower since it's a ground type. But he brings in his Swampert, and because I'm scarfed, I'm locked in on Shadow Ball, and I carry Energy Ball, Fire Blast, Shadow Ball, and Facade. I don't know why I carry Facade, but it's just, that's the moveset. So I bring in Shaman to sponge the Waterfall, because that's kind of obvious. It's a fire type sitting in here on a bulky water ground type. I'm going to switch out, and I'm kind of seeing that coming in. But he brings in his own Chandelure, and I go for the Earth Power here, because I was like, well, it should do plenty of damage because I'm Life Orbed. And it's super effective, but it's not stab, so it does live with a decent chunk. And I get the special defense drop, which doesn't really matter. And then here, I make a risky play because I was like, well, I'm speed of 327. This thing may be scarfed, and if it is, then I just lost my Shaman, and I pretty much lost the match. But his Chandelure isn't scarfed, so I get that kill there. Brings in Flygon, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna go for a Seed Flare, and it's still not faster than me. So thinking about it, maybe it's not scarfed and it is banded, and I was wrong earlier, and that might have been banded damage. I don't know, but whatever. Now he brings in his Shaman. He brings his Ditto, which has Imposter and is clearly scarfed because that's what Imposter Ditto runs these days. Now I bring in my Chandelure, and I was like, well, you know, he's probably going to go for Hidden Power Fire because that's what I run. But I forgot that when you Imposter, you don't copy the IVs, you only copy their EVs. So he's got my speed and the scarf and all that. So I bring in Murkrow, because Murkrow's got the immunity to ground type moves. And I knew he's going to switch out. So I was like, well, whatever switches in, we'll just get mean looked and then Perish Trapped. And that's pretty much the premise of this Murkrow. I have another one that's a little different that I usually run. I run it on my black version a lot more often. But I go for Pear Song, and he roars me out, so that shows me 2/3 of his set right there. But he brings in Machamp, good old forearms. He's in here, he's ready, he's pumped, he's a Machamp. You know, he used to be the highest attacking fighting type in the whole series up until this point. It brings in his Ditto, which was smart play because he would be able to then gain the resistance to fighting type moves, being a fighting type, but I crit him, and that's good because he's dead. Now he brings in his Swampert again, and Swampert, it's just going to get dynamic punched. I got that no guard dynamic punch going on, so I'm guaranteed to hit and put you into your state of confusion. Now, yeah, he hurts himself, and I was like, well, I'm going to set up a sub, maybe he'll hurt himself again, and I can just continue to rain down dynamic punches. Since my set is dynamic punch, thunder punch, sub, and I'm forgetting my fourth move. I don't even think you get to see my fourth move, but yeah, he doesn't hurt himself. He breaks out of confusion, unfortunately, and hits me with an earthquake. On the turn I set up my sub, so I was like, well, this sucks, kind of. I'm pretty sure I can find a way to turn this around in my favor. So I'll switch out my champ. The champ can still be useful later, and I'll bring in Shaman. So we see his set, Waterfall, Earthquake, so he's got the dual stab, Roar, Stealth Rocks, and now he snaps out of confusion. There we go. He Earthquakes me again, and I was like, oh, please beam in damage, and I live it. So I was like, awesome, 60 damage, and I know he's gonna switch out, so I'm gonna go for the Synthesis because I need to heal. 19 damage. I was like, well, I can fire off a Seed Flare and kill myself, or I can heal up, and healing up sounds like the right thing to do right now. So I heal up, and I get a little greedy. I go for another one because I don't know the spread on his Scrafty, and not too concerned at this moment what it is, but seeing from the damage he deals here, it's a more offensive one, especially after getting blasted with the Seed Flare. You can tell that it's a little, it's got a little bit of bulk, but it's more offensive than anything. And he sets up his 1 DD here, and after +1, I was like, well, I'm a Shaman, timid, max speed 327. I don't think Scrafty would be able to outspeed me on +1. At +1, he's looking at maybe, possibly, speed tying. I'm not sure. I don't exactly know how the stat boosts work. I know he's sitting at he was at times 1.5 right there, so it's +1. But he brings in his Swampert, and this is good game because this is his last guy. And I get the Seed Flare off, and quad weak, stab, super effective, all that, you know. And that's the game. Good game, Pokegmaer. Had a fun time on it, you know, and you know, like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the match. I'm gonna try and bring you more of these, but school's getting ready to start up, so I don't know how often that's gonna be. This is peace out.